Hi y'all, this is Pam at Pink Dragonfly Wings, and I know it's been a little bit since I made a video, but things have just been crazy. So, I was supposed to have had my second knee surgery on the 13th, and I had planned my life around that, and they called and told me that my doctor had had an accident and wasn't going to be able to do the surgery. So we've rescheduled it for December the 18th. So I'll get to hobble at Christmas instead of at Thanksgiving. That's okay. But as most of you know, I follow Louisa Hansel on YouTube and Barbara at 49 Dragonflies. And every year, or I don't know every year, but I know this is the third year that they have done a little event the month of December called Dephemerember. Dephemerember. I think that's how you say it. Anyway, so we are getting ready to do our Dephemerember 2023. And so I'm a little behind, but we're going to make a journal today that Louisa and Barbara are also using and make our journal for our event. And so that's what I'm going to do today. And I'm going to use these. I have mommy-gammied these. I don't know if mommy-gammied is a word, but that's what I did. If you don't know about mommy-gammy paper, check back in my videos. I did a video on how to make this. And so I took a couple of Louisa's background papers for her Dephemerember kit, and I'm going to put those on the outside of this little journal. Now, this is a journal. It's a 3-ring binder journal, and I've painted it because when I mommy-gammied my papers got small, so it will now not fit on here exactly. So, what I'm going to do is what any junk journaler would do, and we're going to make it fit. We're going to make it work. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put this page on the front. Oh, I dropped my little shaky things that I'm going to use in a minute. We're going to put this one on the front, and this is a door, and it to me is just such an inviting door. And I think, wow, this is the door into our journal. So I'm going to use this on this front side, turn it over, and I'm going to use this on this side. And this is our little crafting buddy that Louisa and Barbara have come up with. I don't know if you can see him because he's kind of dark here, but his name is Effie, E-P-H-Y, and he stands, his name comes from ephemera. So we're going to do this. And then on the inside, I'm going to use some of Barbara's papers that she's done for Dephemerember and put those on the inside. Now, Louisa did a hardcover journal like this. Barbara did a soft cover journal. And I had a really hard time deciding which way I was going to go and which papers I was going to use. So I decided to use this book. I'm going to paint it, and I'm going to use both papers. So there we go. All right. So we're going to put this on here first, and we're going to lay this out here. I hope that I can work on this right here. But I want it to, now my biggest question is, I dyed this little piece of fabric, and I thought, well, I could put this down here and put this up here to kind of be the sky. So, I don't know. We can do this and just put it right here on the front. I'm going to leave the sides of the journal blank or naked. That's part of the reason that I decided to paint it, because I wanted this ridge all the way around to be painted and not brown. So now then, I can put this up here at the top and fit this on here so that it fits down at the bottom. And then I could put a little piece of lace across there to show the boundary. I could put it like this, but it covers up my pretty little mushroom, and I don't want to lose my mushroom. So, I also have a piece of this lace, and I could put that on here. Or I could put this at the top and put this at the bottom. I just don't know. I don't know. But I think I'm going to hold on to this. I think I'm going to use this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here. Let's maybe see if we can, let me take my glasses off. I see better up close without my glasses. So let's see here if we can kind of roughage this up a little bit. And I want to put it right at the top so that the little fringes kind of hang on. Okay, but we're going to see if we can even it up a little bit. It's kind of crooked. So let's see. Well, that didn't work so good, did it? I don't want to cut off a whole lot because I don't have a whole lot extra. Okay, so let's try coming from this side. And tear it. There we go. There we go. We got it. Pull off a couple of little strings. May have to pull off a couple of more little strings just to make it more fluffy. Okay, let's get a few more of these little strings out of here. And then that's going to give us a pretty good side right there. Okay, now I'm going to turn this upside down and work on it from here so I can see and stay aware of. Let's see if we can make this longer edge a little more ruffledy too, and get some strings going so that it's got a little bit more of a fluffy edge, or a grungy edge, or whatever you want to call it edge. We're going to put it on here. Sure we are. That sounded a whole lot easier than I guess it actually is. So let's try grabbing one from down here. Okay, let's see. Now we're going to have that right at the edge. Pull this over. And I'm going to make it about right there. And we'll save this little piece for something. I'm sure something will come up that we will need that for. All right, so we're going to edgy. And it's kind of hard to do this. It's a little dark in here. I turned my light on, but can't tell that it's helping just a whole lot. Can you see what I'm doing? All right, here we go. And we're going to have to edgy this one. And my fingers and hands are blue because I painted the book right before I started the video because I wanted it to be sure and have time to dry. So let's see what we've got here. Okay. think that is going to work pretty perfect. Make sure that is going to fit when it closes. And I think that's going to work. I think that's going to work just perfect for what I want it to do. Alrighty, so I don't know that there is a top or a bottom to this little book, so I'm going to go on the premise that it does not have a top or a bottom, so we will make our own top or bottom. But I'm going to pull a few more of these little strings here and see what we can do. Make it just a little more frumpy, or not frumpy. Frumpy is not the word. Grungy. A little more feathery. Okay, we'll put that on there. And I'm presuming, since I'm doing this side, that this is going to be the top. And I have not done anything and have managed to get a black spot on this. I don't know how I do this. I just have such talent that I don't know. I just don't know how it works. Oops, we're going to put him, the fuzzy thing, on the top. Well, okay, so we're going to start in the center and get our Fabrifix, Fabri-Tac, whatever fabric glue you use. And we're going to start gluing this on and see how it works. Have to wait for it to come to the top. Okay. Want to make sure it gets down in these little grooves here on the back of this little book, because I don't want it to stretch out once we get it made, get it on here. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see. Let's kind of push it down with our finger so it spreads out a little bit and doesn't get icky in one spot or another. All right, so we're going to make sure we have enough down here. And we're going to put it just like that. Okay, that is looking awesome. I actually can pull this up just a little bit, make it a little more even. Okay, let's get our bone folder and go down in this little groove here pretty well, so we make sure that it is going to work, and that's good. And then when we get this glued all the way on the top, we'll come back and put some glue on the bottom so that it will stay, but don't want to get way too much glue ahead of myself. And now let's get our bone folder and go in this little groove, and that's just going to have to fit on there like that. All right, so I think we're good. Now we're going to come back. That didn't work so bueno, did it? Okay, here we go again. So we're going to put some glue in here. Put it all across the top. Make sure the edges are good. I don't know if my glue is being contrary because it's cold right now, or exactly what the problem is with it, but it's not wanting to cooperate with me very well. Okay, now let's do this side. Yeah, let's just pull that up a little bit. That's just too much work. Make sure we get the edge really good and even. Okay. Put this across this way. And there we go. Let's fold it up, make sure it's going to work. Okay. I think that's going to do just fine. Alright, so now not only do I have ink on my fingers, I also have glue. And when I rub it off, the glue is blue. So, alright, there we go. And where's our front page? Here it is. We're going to make this the front of our book. So, we are going to put this inviting little door. You know, we could kind of fold that down just ever so slightly since we have some room up here. I think we should do that. Give us a little bit more room down here. Just because. And then we can fold that up, and I think that would work. I think that will work perfectly. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this glue and go around the edges. All the way around. And let's see how this is going to do. I may have to put my glasses back on. Can't really tell where is what. And I'm going to put some glue right there in that little crease as well, because I want it to not only be in there, but I want it to, you know, that would have been a whole lot easier, wouldn't it? Oh, the things we realize as we go. Let's get my glasses. And let's put our door. Let's see if that's going to be about in the center. And it will. I think that's going to work perfect. Work perfectly. Okay. And then I'm going to get my strings off of my bone folder here and put those on here. I don't want all the wrinkles to come out of our mommy gummy paper, but I do want it to be able to make contact with the book. So maybe it's better to just use my fingers, my hands, and put it on there like that. Now we want this down in here really good. So alright, let's try this again. Let's get our bone folder and go in our little crease here. So we want it down in that crease. And then we can fold this one. And then let's put it All right, there we go. I think that's going to work pretty good. Haven't decided back here yet, so let's pull this up. And we're going to have to kind of tuck it under there. That'll work. Those little strings are just everywhere, aren't they? Okay, well, it helps, Pamela, if you put some glue on it. That usually helps it stick just a little bit better. Okay. Put our little thing right there. And let's make sure our creases are creased. Okay. I'll put this one over here. Kind of flip that corner up. And I think, I don't know, do that. I think that I'm going to cut that right there and have that go around and maybe just cut this little piece off. Don't stick to my glue, my fuzzies. It's sticking to my fuzzies. I don't want it to stick to my fuzzies. Okay. Well, I don't know. This may have worked better in my head than it did in practicality, but we shall see. Well, that kind of is crooked, but since when have I ever cut that it was straight? Okay, so we've got that one on, and I think that's going to work just perfect. Okay, now then, so there's the front of our little book, and I love it. I love it. All right, now this is going to be our other side, and I want Effie on the back because I want it to look like Effie is saying goodbye, because this is the end of the book. So I think we will, let's see how much we have here. Okay, little Mr. Effie needs to be in the center. So let's get our cutter thingy, and let's cut off just a little bit. Just a little bit. Because I really need him to kind of be in the center, and that's going to be perfect. Now, this little Effie right here is going to be covered up with this little guy. I'm going to cover him up and put him on there just like that. Isn't that cute? So he's going to be our Effie on the book. All right, so let's ink this side up just a little bit because it's going to be on top, and I want it to kind of blend. And let's see, put it about right there. Let's fold this up because I want him to be in the center. And let's see. That'll be pretty close. That'll be pretty close. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut. Nope, we're not going to cut. We're going to glue this down and leave it on here. So we're just going to leave that on there. Make sure it's down good. Okay. And then we will take this and put it right up here. Right like that. Right about there. Does that look like a good place? That looks like a good place to be. So we're going to go right down here. Put this in. I tell you, as I've gotten older, I'm sorry I'm quiet. I have a hard time talking and doing something. I don't know why and what that, I guess it's just because I'm old. I can't think very good. Okay, so we're going to make sure that's on there really nicely. We'll kind of smooth this out just a little bit, simply because I did on the other one. And I don't want it to look different from the other part. No, I don't want you to move. I just want you to flatten ever so slightly. Okay. Of course, I don't have a whole lot of glue on that page, so that's part of the problem. There we go. There you go, Mr. Iffy. Okay, so now we're going to put some glue on this all the way around. Get it all glued up on here because we sure don't want it to come off. Okay, we'll push from this side. And get this done. It's going to work pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, so we are going to cut this off a little bit here. Just because we want it to not fit in too far under there, because we're going to have other paper over there as well. And I think I'll just do that one like that. I think that will work perfect. Yes, I do. So we're going to fold this up and around and up. We're going to have another piece of paper on the inside, so it's not going to be too big a deal that it all match perfectly size-wise. So, okay. We're going to fold this one up in here. It's got glue on it, so we might need to put a little glue right there. And put that up like that. There we go. Alrighty. Yeah, that's cute. That is cute. It would be nice. It would be cuter if it was straight. But that one's pretty straight. So, you know, you can't ask for both to be straight. Now then, we have got to work on the inside before I decide what we're going to do about this extra here. Alright, so I have two sheets here that I've already chosen. And I chose this one to go on this side. Oh, we're going to have to put a little something up here at the top too. Good for lace. Good for lace. All right, so we're going to put this right up to here, to this little crease. Okay. So we're going to put it in our little cutter, and we are going to cut this down right here. And let's see if we messed it up. Well, it didn't go quite to the edge, did it? Oh, that's because I measured it to right there, which is probably perfect. Alright, so if we put that right there, we'll put a little piece of lace up here and something down here. That's going to be awesome. Okay, so we'll do that one. And then this one's going to fit on this side. And that's going to be perfect. So, we're going to put this one right here on our little crease here. Crease it with my fingernail. And then we'll cut it. I may have to trim that one just a little bit more. I felt it kind of move. Well, not bad. Not bad, because I want those to be there. Okay, we'll save those pieces because we may need something else. So, let's get some of this stuff out of the way. Let's get some ink. We're going to ink this up in here. And we're probably going to need to round these corners just a little bit. Let's use the big rounder. And of course it doesn't work as well. I have a new little rounder thingy, and I think it's time we use it. So we'll put this. I think it doesn't go in there. Well, that's just weird. That's just weird. Alright, we'll just leave it because let's see how this one does if we stick it in here. This is a new little thing I just got. I haven't really quite mastered the... And we'll leave this one flat. We'll put this one. Okay, we got a plan. May not be a good plan, but it's a plan. Tell you what I think I'll do. I think I'll put this one over here and trim it. Oh, that's the problem. It's too short. Okay, we're going to have to cover that one up with a piece of lace. Alrighty, so here we go. And we're going to ink this little puppy up. And glue this on the inside. And possibly may have to print a couple more of these papers, because I'm thinking that maybe it might be kind of cool to have a pocket down here that matches that. That might work pretty nicely. Okay, that's going to work. That's going to work. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can get some of this off of the tip of this thing here. I'll put this on here. See, It's not just my cutting. I just don't know how to make a straight line, I don't think. But that's okay. Straight lines are for people who follow the rules. I don't follow the rules. So we're going to put this on here. We're going to make sure that we get it. Oop, and I almost messed it up. Get it right here. And right there. There we go. All right. Now let's make sure this is down good. I probably should have gone ahead and done that one. Wonder if I can get that in there now. Probably. Probably, maybe. I don't know. It's gonna, the glue is gonna, there we go. Yep. And never, ever, ever. All right, we're gonna have to put a little more glue under there because it kind of dried while I was fiddling around trying to figure out what to do. So we'll just put a little bit more on there. There we go. Now that's just looking cute as can be. All right, so we're gonna try as best we can to even this up a little bit, make it a little more round, even though it's kind of funky. And then we will do this one. I have to turn it over so I can see what I'm doing. Except you have to make sure you get in the right whole thing. Okay. So now then, and I did the wrong one. Well, goodness gracious sakes in the morning time. All right, then what I'm going to do is, I tell you, all right, then I think what we'll do is we'll just do this one too. What did I do with that little pink thing? There it is. Okay, so we're going to do it again. We're going to pull this one up if we can. It's still not very dry, so we'll do that, and we'll put this one. Gosh, gracious. Gracious, gracious. Okay, so we're going to put it in here. Sure we are. There we go. And we're going to ink that little corner. And we're going to put some more glue down. We have lots of glue, so we are not running out of glue. All righty. So there we go. We've got that problem fixed. Not a problem anymore. Probably should have done that one up there too, but not going to do that. We have 3 done. I'm losing my little blanket here. It's kind of getting cold in Texas, so I have my little blanket. I could turn off the fan, you know, that would make it a whole lot easier. But I like having the fan on, so ink this around here. And back over there. Now let's get some ink on this one. And I think that we have all of the corners done that we needed to get them done in the right way. And so my grandson is here, or one of my grandsons. I have 3, but this is the middle grandson. And he is here visiting from Colorado for Thanksgiving. And I'm really excited because my brother and his wife and my son and daughter-in-law and granddaughter and my mother. I am really excited about this. My mother are all coming to my house for Thanksgiving. I am just blown away. I'm just so excited. And they're all coming in tomorrow. So tonight we are going to go eat at Rosa's restaurant, which is a little Mexican food restaurant we have down here in Texas, and they have Taco Tuesday. So we are doing Taco Tuesday. Put this over here out of the way so I remember that I've done that. I wonder if this is even doing what it's supposed to do. Maybe that will be a little better. I don't know. All right, so we've got this. Get some of that excess glue off of there. And make sure that glue is really down good, because we don't want it to come up. All right, so we have I'm going to put some lace up here, but I got to think on it for a minute. I'm going to put some lace here. Now, one thing else I'm going to do is I'm going to put this little thing over the front of our window, and we're going to make a little shaker card out of it. Louisa did this on hers, and I was so impressed. So I decided I would do it on mine. So, but I'm going to kind of scrunch it up a little bit, just because my paper is kind of mommy-gammy, and I want to make sure that if we can grunge up anything, we certainly need to make sure we do that. So, okay. Now that looks better. I like that better. Okay, we're going to put it right here. Right up there. And that's going to be perfect. Now, we need a piece of acetate. Yes, we do. Alrighty. So, hum. The hum. Tell you what, I have a little plastic bag thing here in my trash. I think I'll just use a piece of that. That one's not big enough. And let's just use a piece of this. I think that will be perfect. Okay, so we'll just cut this out down the side. And then we'll turn this over and put this on the inside of this. But we're going to have to cut it down a little bit more. Okay. Now, I think on this one, we will use some double-sided tape. I just think that will do better. What did I do with that little piece of paper? How did you lose it when it was right here? Oh, there it is. Okay. And we're going to put let's see. We'll put one right down here at the bottom. And we're going to put one right there. Down that way. And we'll put one over here on the other side. Right down the edge. Put one up here at the top. And I probably have some smaller tape somewhere, but who knows where that would be. So what we're going to do is get a little piece here, cut it, and we're just going to cut it down a little bit. This is why my scissors always have icky sticky on them, because I use them to cut tape and all kinds of little things. Alright, so let's pull that off. Let's pull that one off. Let's pull this one off. Well, and let's pull this one off. And we'll put our little piece of this on there. So we have a little window. Look at that. Is that not cute? Okay, let's see if I can get it to level out a little bit. I got a little wrinkle in it. And we don't want a wrinkle in it. Alrighty, there we go. Now then, I'm going to take this foam tape. This is a Stampin' Up product that I bought a long time ago. I don't even know if they still have it anymore. But they come in little strips. And the cool thing about it is that first you got to figure out how to get it off of this little thing. I only need one of you at a time. Okay. So we're going to pull that one up. And it's double-sided. And we're going to put it right along the edges here. And you can mold it, see, around your little window frame. We don't want to see it on the other side. So we're going to fold it down this way. And this side of the door has little things in it, so that makes it a little more difficult. Not impossible. Now we're going to get another little piece, and we're going to start right here and cut it off. And there's my sticky scissors. And then we'll run it right along the bottom. Now let's see, that's going to raise it up. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work for me. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and pull this off. We're going to, since we want the tape to be the same width, we'll put a little bit more on here around the edges. And let's see here. Well, goodness gracious, it's hard to find the sticky side. Okay. We'll put another piece down here. And then we'll put some other pieces around just so it doesn't cave in the middle. So we'll put a little piece here. Cut that one off. Oh, we need a little piece right there. That didn't quite fit, did it? Okay, let's put another one up here. Well, goodness gracious. There's the sticky side. Okay. We'll cut this little piece off. And we'll put this little piece down here. See, that's still just a little bit too long. There we go. Put you right there. And then we need one more little piece down this other side. And we'll put you right there, up to there. Okay, cut off a little piece here and put you right there. Cut off another little piece and put you right there. And I think we are set. Okay, so we'll put that away. And I have to clean my scissors. Okay, so we have all of this. Now, one more thing, if I can find it, let me put my glasses on. Maybe I can see. I don't know where I put that little thing. I haven't used it in a long time. I'm gonna have to stand up and lean over and see if I can find it. That's not it. Maybe I just don't have it anymore. Well, maybe I just don't. All right, well, there you go. So much for that. I was going to use my little powder thing to come in here so that it wouldn't mess up my little sprinkles, but alrighty. Now then, we are going to put this on here. And I'm going to leave, I'm going to put the bottom on. Let's tear this off. And this is not my forte here, doing these little shaker cards. I never can remember for sure how they work. But we're going to make it work. It may not be the right way, but we're going to make it work. If I can get these little things off of here. And, well, goodness gracious. Oh, I've already got that off. Well, goodness gracious. Okay. And then, let's see. We're going to take our little shaker things here. These are our little shaker things. And we are going to put them right here. In the center. Let's see. I wonder what else. Oh, there's some more little beads. I think that will be plenty. Don't really know how. I never know how many of these you're supposed to put in there, but I think that will be plenty. All right, let's see if we can get the rest of this stuff off of here. And take that off. And take that off. Take that off. That off. And that one off. And I think they're all off. Okay, so I think that I'm going to go around just to kind of give our door a little definition. Ink it up just a little bit on that cardboard where it is. This little door came from Tim Holtz Halloween stuff. I don't really know what the package is called, but all right, then we're going to put this right here. And stick it down. All right. Wish I could have found my little powder thing, but I didn't. Okay. So there we go. Come on. There we go. Okay. That is not going to stick on there because of the mommy-gummy paper, so we're going to have to put some glue on it too. Alrighty then. What are we going to do here? Alright, all of you guys get back in the middle where you're supposed to be. Right in there. And I have a few more little beads, so we're going to put you in there. Now stay. We're going to put a little glue on here because I think because the mommy gammy paper is wrinkled, it's not a flat surface. It's not wanting to adhere to these little things. So I'm going to go back and put. Sure I am. I wonder what I did with my little. I usually keep a little paper clip up here that I can poke down in here. There it is. No, but that one will do. And fold that out. Stick that in there. I'm real bad about not putting my lid back on there, and it kind of gets a little crusty overflow. So there we go. That's going to work. And I'm just going to put some glue on all of these so they'll hold it down good. And there's a little bead. We don't want you on there. You have to go there. Oh, there's another one. And it won't lay down flat if you are sticking on there. Okay, there we go. And now we'll put it on here. And let it dry. At least let it stick good. So, okay, I'm going to let this dry. And then I'll finish with the lace at the top on the inside here. And we'll be ready to go for our journal. Please check out Louisa's website, Louisa Heinzel, Junk Journal Art. Also Barbara at 49 Dragonflies. They do this in collaboration together. And it is a hoot of fun. So come join us. They have some freebie things that you can get that will get you started on all your things. We have 16 days in the month of November, or in December, 16 days that we'll all do a page following a prompt that they've got now. So go check them out, get your stuff together, and let's get going. Also check out my website. I have an online store at www.pinkdragonflywings.com. The wings has a Z instead of an S. And check out some of my other videos. See how to make the mommy gummy paper, and let's get going. So thank you for joining me today. I'm still holding this down, so thank you for joining me today and being a part of our group, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.